I fell in love with a married man while I was engaged to my fiancé of 6 years. Now I regret it and am trying to reconnect with my fiancé. We've been together for 6 years, and during the third year of our relationship, I cheated on him with a close family friend. I had started taking him for granted, and it became easy to cheat because I didn't value the relationship anymore. He broke up with me, and we were apart for months. During the time we were apart, I realized that he is a great partner. I begged him to take me back, and he did, but I had to promise to never speak to the guy again. I'm happy to say that I haven't cheated since then, and I haven't been tempted at all. I now understand how great of a partner I have. That being said, the guy I cheated with was a close family friend, and recently, I rekindled our friendship behind my fiancé's back. It wasn't romantic. Have you ever met someone who's a terrible partner but a great friend? That's him. I hated that I let a stupid mistake ruin our friendship. My fiancé found out and was angry. I apologized and we talked. He needed space. He then sent me a text outlining his demands to continue the relationship, and I copied and pasted it. The text said, "After thinking it over, I can't trust you, whether it was platonic or not. This is the second time that I know of that you violated my trust. The hardest part isn't this, but now I have to wonder how many times you violated my trust or done something behind my back that I don't know about. You say this is the only time, but how can I believe you? I love you and want to work on this relationship, but it's going to take a lot from you. We are postponing our wedding indefinitely. When we first got back together, it took 10 months before I felt secure again. I don't know how long it will take to feel secure now. You will be blocked on everything, and you are never to speak to him again. This now includes family events. If you know he will be there, do not attend. If you didn't know he would be there, you are to ignore him. I have unrestricted access to your phone, social media, emails, etc. I want all your passwords. No hanging out with male friends alone. You are to be home by 1 a.m. if you go out with your friends. There will be more, but these are my demands and they are not up for discussion. If you aren't willing to do this, then the relationship is over. Take your time to think about it. I called him, but he said he's not going to argue with me about it and won't call me back until I decide what I want to do. I feel like this is extremely harsh, considering that I didn't cheat this time. Since we got back together, I haven't cheated on him. I believe I was wrong, but I feel like the punishment doesn't fit the crime. I made a horrible mistake years ago. Being friends with someone doesn't automatically mean cheating. Even though I was wrong for going behind his back, I'm convinced I should follow my boyfriend's rules. Okay, I'll do it. I just needed to make sure he wasn't going too far. But if this is what it takes to rebuild his trust, I'll do it. When commenters say that I'm on my way to cheat on my boyfriend again, I say, you don't think I'll follow his rules? Good thing I don't let people tell me what I can't do. I'm going to be laughing when we work through this, get married, and have kids. Update 1. We had a really great conversation and he was vulnerable. He said it made him feel like I didn't value him. He was crying, and it really hurt me to see the pain I caused him. He told me that we shouldn't move forward unless I can promise that I won't go behind his back again because he can't go through this pain again. I told him that I promise I will never hurt him again and will always be honest and upfront with him. We talked about the rules and he said they will be temporary and will be adjusted when we go to couples therapy. Now it's time to put in the work to repair the relationship. I know it will be a lot of work, but I'm prepared. Update 2. So, next month I'll get married this fall. I'm with an amazing guy, and we've worked through a lot of issues together. I thought I loved him, and I think I still do, but I'm not in love with him. About 3 months ago, a new coworker joined my office. He's very handsome and extremely attractive. I've never been so physically attracted to someone in my life. We started becoming closer friends, and romantic feelings developed. I repressed my feelings, but to my surprise, he confessed his feelings to me as well. I told him we need to think about our spouses, but our feelings kept growing. He told me he stopped being affectionate with his wife because he feels like he's cheating on me when he does that. He only wants to be affectionate with me. I've started doing the same thing and haven't been intimate with my partner. The big issue is that a lot of people will be hurt when this comes out. He can't divorce his wife right away due to financial reasons, but he will as soon as he can. I have to call off the wedding, but I really don't want to hurt my current fiancé. When asked about her previous infidelity, I say, I've cheated before, and I'm starting to realize it's because I didn't understand what it meant to be in love with the guy I'm seeing. We both aren't romantic with our current partners. I don't want to be with anyone but him. Also, he's going to divorce his wife, and we have a plan for when his finances are sorted out. How am I justifying this affair? This is completely different. The first time I cheated was because I was selfish. This time, it's because I fell in love with someone else. I didn't choose this. No one picks who they love. This whole experience has taught me how complex love is and that I've never truly been in love before. This is so hard on me. It's not fair. I didn't want any of this to happen. It breaks my heart that I'm going to have to call off the wedding, but he's a great guy, and I'm certain he'll find someone else. I wish I loved him or hadn't fallen in love with someone else, but life is more complicated than that. I don't want to hurt him, and I've been thinking about the best way to tell him. You guys act like this doesn't hurt me too. You're not being understanding or empathetic. When commenters tell me I'm gullible for thinking the married guy will leave his wife for me, I keep emphasizing that I'm going to tell my fiancé, but we can't tell the other guy's wife just yet. He's trying to get his finances in order first. Update 3. I took everyone's advice and decided to end things with my fiancé. This was the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life. I know you guys think I'm a terrible person, but this is an unimaginable situation to find yourself in. I want everyone to understand how much this hurts. I really wish I hadn't fallen in love with someone else. I wish I could make myself fall in love with my fiancé, but I can't. It took me so long to accept this. I hope you can understand that. I care about my ex-fiancé, and I know this is the best thing for both of us, even though it's hard right now. When asked if I told my ex-fiancé the truth, I said, I didn't lie. I told him the truth, that I fell in love with someone else. I told him I still care about him. I keep telling you all that I care about him and would never use him as a backup. He's a great guy, and there's a woman out there who will love him and be lucky to have him. There's no reason we both can't be happy. When commenters tell me that the married man isn't going to leave his wife for me, I say he's going to divorce his wife. Unfortunately, divorce is extremely complicated, but he said he will keep me updated. It's not just finances, it's a lot of other legal stuff. Since I wasn't married yet, it was easier for me to end things. For him, it's a lot more complicated. When commenters continue to call me gullible, I say, no, I was very clear in our conversation today that I want this figured out by the end of the year. That's plenty of time for him to figure out the finances and legal stuff. That way, by 2025, we can just focus on each other. Update 4. I realize I treated my fiancé horribly, and I've received my karma. My coworker and his wife are getting a divorce because she found out he was cheating with multiple women. He's a disgusting person. He lied to me and others, pretending that we were the only ones. I ended things with him, and I'm glad he's been exposed. As for my ex-fiancé, I've taken the time to reflect and realize he was actually my true love. I hate that I hurt him. I reached out to him again, but he said he will always love me. But he's done with me. That was painful to hear. I just can't get over what my coworker did in destroying multiple relationships, including mine. It's painful to see and experience. Edit. I wasn't clear before, but I take full responsibility for my actions. Just because I'm condemning his disgusting and manipulative behavior doesn't mean I'm justifying my own. My actions were horrible, but I've learned from them. Story 2. My love for my husband has been gradually dying since he forced me to choose between an open marriage and divorce. My husband Leo, 34, and I, 30, have been together for 7 years and married for 4. We don't have any kids and don't intend to. 2 years ago, Leo asked me for an open marriage. I was devastated. At the time, I couldn't understand why he didn't just want me. I couldn't even comprehend the idea of sharing him. He gave me the same explanation a lot of men give their spouses, swearing up and down that he loved me, but he needed more than I could give. It was just to spice up our life. He said it was just about sex, etc. I did ask if there was someone else, and he said no. To this day, I'm still not sure if I believe him, but at the time, I was angry and hurt, and I said no. He pestered me to change my mind for a week before giving me an ultimatum: open marriage or divorce. I chose the open marriage. I couldn't bear the thought of him leaving me. At the time, we set rules. We can't bring any partners home. We have to get tested for STDs every 3 months. We have to leave 1 weekend a month for us time, and any money spent on our partners must come from our personal accounts. ****. I didn't partake in the open marriage myself for the first 3 months, but Leo obviously did right away. He seemed to be gone all the time, but he always acted so happy and loving toward me, while I felt like I was dying inside. It killed me to think he was sleeping with other women, and I felt so lonely, unattractive, and not good enough. I told my sister Katie, 26, and a few close friends everything. Katie told me to just play his game and be part of the open marriage too. If he could sleep around, so could I. Honestly, I didn't have much confidence in myself at the time. I'm a bit overweight, and I've never considered myself conventionally pretty. I was afraid this would just humiliate me further. Katie and my best friend Jessie, 30F, set up my online dating profiles for me. I got so many matches that it was overwhelming. When I told Leo, he was surprised but told me to do whatever I thought was best. Jessie helped me choose my first date, and I actually had a great time. He didn't pressure me for sex, and took me out for drinks and dinner. We did have sex eventually, but it was all just casual and we didn't see each other after that. After a couple of months of casual dating, that first guy really made me feel more confident in myself, so I kept going on dates with other men. A lot of them wanted to treat me, so I didn't have to spend much of my own money. Not only that, but some of the men gave me the best sex I've ever had in my life. It was almost like the kind of sex you read about in romance novels. It's been amazing. I am currently seeing 2 different men alongside Leo. One, Mark, 38M, is more of a steady boyfriend I've been with for about 6 months, and the other, Steven, 25M, is very casual, mostly just hanging out and sex. They both know about my open marriage and other relationships and are fine with it. My husband has not been so lucky. In the beginning, he definitely was. He was always out and about and didn't seem to care, even when I started dating too. But now, he just complains a lot and hasn't been going out much. He whines about how he's usually the one spending money. A lot of the women he tries to date want an emotional connection before sex. He often wants to be with younger women, but they want younger men. He's also upset that I go out with random guys so often while he's at home alone all the time. He hasn't asked to close the marriage yet, but I feel like he will soon. He keeps saying he misses us and wants to spend more time together. He's tried to initiate sex a lot more too. He wants to go on dates, go on vacations, and do all that stuff more and more. He gets upset when I tell him I can't, because I've already scheduled to do things with my partners, mostly Mark. Honestly, I don't think I love Leo anymore. I care about him, but I just don't love him. I'm not saying I love Mark or Steven, but I honestly feel closer to Mark nowadays than I do Leo. Mark makes me feel comfortable and safe, and I love spending time with him more than with my own husband. Steven is funny, sweet, and really good at sex. Katie and Jesse have been wanting me to divorce for a year now, but I was afraid of hurting Leo and thought I still loved him. But I think my love for him died when he asked for this open marriage in the first place. Seeing him get all upset about it now just because he's not benefiting from it is also a turnoff for me. But I don't know if divorce is the best option. I still care about him, and I still don't want to hurt him. Maybe if he finally asks to close the marriage, we can talk about it then. Relevant comments. Comment 1, divorce. You're happier without him. He would only want to close the marriage because he can't get laid, not because he loves you. OP. We've just been together for so long that the idea of him not being there feels weird, which sounds stupid since I have 2 other partners. It's not like I'll be lonely, but Leo was a part of my life for so long that for him not to be there just doesn't feel right. But you're probably right. Comment on her husband dismissing her feelings regarding the open marriage. OP. I really do think Leo loves me in his own way. Even when he was more active in the open marriage, he still made time for me and still did a lot for me. But you're probably right about the divorce comment too. Part of the issue is that the main relationship is supposed to be the important one, so the whole 1 weekend a month for US time wasn't enough. OP, I actually did argue that in the beginning, but he insisted that he needed to keep his weekends free. He did spend a lot of time at home during the weekdays, so in his mind, that made up for it. Comment 3. What if he finds evidence of your open marriage and frames you as a cheater, and then brings you to the cleaners? OP. At this point, I wouldn't trust Leo. What you're experiencing is normal. You're used to his presence in your life. But how long are you going to live like this? OP. Jesse had the same train of thought as you and actually took screenshots of his dating profiles during the beginning of the open marriage. She also told me to save screenshots of any texts we had about the open marriage. I don't think Leo would do that, but I also didn't think he'd ever ask for an open marriage, so what do I know? Update 1. Hi everyone, I got so many comments and messages on my last post, which got deleted for some reason, that I was a bit overwhelmed, especially when a lot of you kept saying the same thing, divorce, divorce, divorce. But the thing is, I think a part of me still loves my husband. I know in my last post I said that I didn't think I loved him anymore, but I can't just forget about the things I do love about him. I love when he sings in the shower. I love when he laughs so hard he snorts. I love when he kisses my forehead when I've had a bad day. I love when he holds my hand while we watch TV together. Leo has done a lot of shitty things, but he really isn't the terrible person that people think. Maybe I contributed to that, but even if I do still love him, I'm not in love with him anymore. I don't think I have been for a while. I care about him. A part of me does still love him, but you all were right. I should have just divorced him when he gave me that ultimatum in the first place. This past Saturday, we had the big talk. I initiated it, but he didn't seem too surprised. I just told him that I noticed he didn't seem to like me going out with Mark or Steven and asked if there was a problem. He said there was, but he didn't ask me to close the marriage. He just asked me if I still loved him. I said something like, "Not like I used to." He broke down crying, which made me cry. I guess he had known for a while that I wasn't in love anymore, but he had hoped he could win me back if he funneled all his energy into me. I was honest and told him that during those first 3 months of our open marriage, I think my love for him died, and I just couldn't get it back. I did tell him that I still cared about him, and that I did love him, but it's not the same as it was. He asked if I loved Mark or Steven, and I said no. I like being with them and I care about them a lot, but I can't say I'm in love with either of them. I also finally asked him why he wanted the open marriage in the first place. A lot of you in the comments said he already had someone lined up, and you were right. He had someone at work he was interested in, and she wanted him too. The open marriage was just to get permission. He honestly never expected me to also get my own partners because of how unconfident I was, but he didn't want to stop me either because he thought nothing would come of it. He didn't really like me seeing other men, but he knew it wouldn't have been fair to tell me no when I gave him permission first. I guess Mark and Steven made him insecure because I was spending so much time with them on a regular basis. The open marriage was just sex on the side for him. He only did hookups, and they never lasted long. He genuinely always just loved me, but he thought I was falling in love with my partners, and he was losing me. He wanted to win me back. We cried a lot and talked a lot, and we've decided to get a divorce. Since the house is in his name, I'm going to move out and live with Katie for a while. He told me I didn't have to, and that I could stay until the divorce was finalized, but I just can't. It's too hard to even look at him sometimes. I don't know how I feel, to be honest. I thought I would be relieved or sad, but I'm just tired. I wish I could have been like you all wanted me to be, clapping back, being sarcastic and snarky, or rubbing it in his face, but I don't feel like I've won anything. I just feel lost. Relevant comments. Comment 1. I'm wondering if maybe the other woman ended it, so now he's back to what he was comfortable with, his wife. He had his fun, and when that died out, he was left with a wife waiting for him at home. OP. He and his coworker were only sleeping together for maybe a month. She fulfilled his kinks that I never liked indulging in. That's why he was with most of his partners, because I wasn't interested in his kinks. Comment 2. He stepped out of his marriage first, and tried to have his cake and eat it too. The thing with open marriages is that you can never count on how emotions will change. Sex is a very intimate action, and many people develop emotional connections. Those connections come at a price. He placed a bet and he lost. At least he manned up enough to acknowledge it and own up to it. There's no easy answer. I wish you healing. OP. Leo just thought the open marriage would be a way for him to get all of his kinks he couldn't do with me because I wasn't into them. He knew how unconfident I was, which wasn't because of him. We can thank my mother for that, but that's a whole other can of worms. He never expected me to partake in the open marriage either. Comment 3. So, he never expected me to partake in the open marriage either? So basically, while he asked for a mutually open marriage, he expected it to be only his side open and then got hurt when reality didn't meet his expectations. OP. Leo admitted that he did only expect his side to be open. He was never going to stop me from opening my side, but like I said, he didn't think I would. TBH, I don't think I would have either if it wasn't for Jesse and Katie pushing me and making profiles for me. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit notification bell to stay updated.